So we've got this philodendron, I believe it's a Philodendron Orlando. We're going to move it out of this pot and I'm going to transfer it hopefully up onto the living wall here in a space, because I'm trying to remove some of this wandering dew that we have. It doesn't really last long, and after a while it starts to look kind of ugly, although it's good for filling up gaps. And from a distance it doesn't look so bad, but it doesn't look good close up. So I'm thinking of removing this here and replacing it with this. We want to free up some space inside of the house for some new plants that are coming anyway. So that's going to be my task today, repotting this into something that we can put onto the wall, and that is going to be able to also be hidden, you know. One of the tricks when you're doing these living walls is to try and hide the pots as best as you can. So obviously use dark color. So we're using all black pots. As you get closer in, you can begin to see here. And that's another thing as well. When you first plant them, it doesn't look great. It takes a few weeks at least for the plants to kind of maneuver towards the light and get into the position that they want to be. For example, this anthurium here, the new leaf has come out, you know, very nice, prominent from the wall, coming out chasing the sun. Now, when we planted it, these were the two leaves that were on there, and they're still kind of hidden at the back here. But I think that every new leaf that comes out now is going to be in this kind of direction. A week or so ago, I did a video on the Philodendron gloriosum and how it crawls and sends out new leaves. So you can see actually the leaf is starting to come out now. And again, it's beginning to, you know, come out towards the light. You know, the plants have a natural tendency to want to be in the light, so they're going to kind of crawl out into the light. So that's how the stuff grows on here. Now, in other places here, I've got a big Philodendron gloriosum there, and I left it in the pot that it came from the shop, and then I put this growing down over it as like a curtain to help hide that pot. So that's the trick with these living walls. To make them look really good, you've got to hide the pots that they're in. So that's part of the challenge. So we'll get this out, we'll take a look at its roots, make sure they're all healthy, and get it repotted into something that we can put up on the wall here. Now I'm thinking I may, because I don't think I have a pot big enough, I may make a mesh bag similar to what I did with the Anthurium vichii, which is up here on the wall. So the video I did the other day of the mesh bag that I made for the vichii, well, maybe I'll do something similar for this to fit it on the wall here. So we've got him out of the pot. The roots look healthy, or some of these aerial roots are a little dry. Maybe the soil medium's also a little dry. That's possibly why I had these yellow leaves. So I'm going to remove the dead growth around there, clean this up a bit, and then we'll get it into something that can go up on the wall. So excuse the look, I did get a bit wet. There was a tropical thunderstorm started. You can see it's still going on. Occasionally you can see the flashes of lightning behind me there. I did stay out long enough to get the Philodendron Orlando up on the wall, but I'll do a closer up shot later once I've dried off and warmed up again. So I abandoned the tools that are outside. I'll tidy those up tomorrow when the rain stops. But you can see there is the Orlando there on the wall. So it's in a relatively large pot because it came from this pot here, which is already quite large. So you should, you know, obviously never put a plant into a smaller pot than what it came from. So I tried to match it up as close as I could. What I did do though is, as you can see, it was planted before in basically a pure soil mix. So what I've done now is put it into more of a, you know, good airy, well draining mix that philodendrons like. And we've got it up on the wall there. So we'll see how it takes. It's done okay inside. There was no root rot. I've been careful with the watering. If anything, it'd been slightly underwatered. The roots were a little dry. But I think it'll be happier now outside and should be happier there on the wall, I hope. So it's the morning after the rainstorm last night. We'll tidy up what's left over from our work yesterday. But I just thought I'd give you a little tour of the wall and how it looks now with our Philodendron Orlando here. So it sticks out quite a lot compared to the other plants that we've got on the wall here, but I don't know, I think it makes a kind of feature. And I think it will look better as well over time as we get some more bigger leaves on there. Maybe at the moment it looks a little odd because it's kind of large compared to the other stuff, but we've got the Mexicanum up there that's going to give some new leaves, which are going to be quite large. So I don't think that will look too bad, and you know, eventually our Vichai will be producing big leaves. This other Anthurium we've got here will also begin to produce larger leaves, probably a similar size to what we've got here on the Gloriosum. So I think over time, that's the thing with these living walls, is they take a little bit of time to become established and for things to grow out, hide the other pots and so on. I'm quite happy with how it's turning out so far. I need to think about what we do along the bottom here to try and hide those pots. Obviously, eventually we're going to have a table and chairs here, which will help, but it'd be nice if we had things on the bottom here that cascade down. So I've been considering getting pots, row pots along the bottom, and just putting lots and lots of pothos in there, and every time it gets kind of this long, cutting it and propagating it again. So we have kind of like a bush of pothos along the bottom, possibly. I don't know. Comment down below if you've got any other ideas to what we could do there at the bottom. We've still got a little bit of wandering dew I can see still to get rid of up here. But we'll do that over time. I think that's the last pieces to get off of the wall here. So the turtle vines are doing well. Although they became kind of difficult to water. They're so kind of bushy and dense that the water doesn't really get in. So I've had to water these from the side in order to make sure they were getting enough water, because they were starting to dry out a little bit, especially on this edge here. So watering those became a little bit of a challenge. When we do our new living wall around the corner on the side of the house, I'm going to plan more carefully the irrigation so that it can be better watered. At the moment, we're just doing it with a hose pipe, and sometimes I have to go in with a watering can and individually water some which are not getting enough water because they're hidden at the back. So we'll take a look at what else is going on in the garden. We've got some new leaves coming out on our giant pothos here, and they're getting bigger, which is nice. We've had a tendency with most of our pothos, as they grow, the leaves get smaller. So this is our really giant marble pothos here. And you see the latest leaf is a lot smaller than the earlier leaves. I'm hoping that this is just kind of a transplant shock. This is the first leaf since it's been moved here. And once it gets established, attached to the wall, I'm hoping that we'll start getting some larger leaves again. Whether we'll ever get ones that are the same size as this again, I'm not sure, especially if it's inside of a pot. But this pothos here is in a smaller pot, but the latest leaves that it's given are quite large in comparison to what it was producing before. So happy about that. And it's not just one, we've got a couple. So this will start climbing up this pole, we hope. The rubber tree is recovering from the very heavy rain that we had. It didn't like it. It got a little bit wet inside of this planter, but it's recovering, and it's dropped a few leaves, but we've got new leaves coming out. We've got new growth. We've got lots of little shoots coming off of the sides. We've got here and here. And this branch here, it basically started as a tiny little sprout off of the main branch down here, and over a couple of months it's grown into this. So I think it's doing okay. It's even got some kind of aerial roots coming out of the tree there. It's interesting. Nepenthes, we've got a new picture coming out on there. Still no new pictures on the smaller Nepenthes behind it. I'm not sure why. But yeah, our Nepenthes is doing okay. This larger one here. I've got something sprouting down there. I'm not really sure what it is. Might be a baby of this Calathea. Not really sure what's coming out there. Our Philodendron gloriosum's got new growth coming out of there, new leaf. We've got new leaf coming out on the Mexicanum, maybe in a couple of days. And we have on the Sodiroi also a new leaf. Let's go and take a look at it. I haven't checked it out this morning, but let's see. So here is the new leaf on the Sodiroi. It's still a little shy. Nice pink spot there where the petiole meets the leaf. So this is the first new leaf that I've had on any of these new philodendrons that I put here at the side. So this is the first new leaf coming out on the Sodiroi. Oh, I did have a new leaf on the Philodendron Royal Queen. It was a smaller one, possibly just again transplant shock. What I'm really interested in though is getting some more leaves on this El Choco. So I hope we start to see some new leaves on that soon and it starts climbing up this pole. I do believe they can be a little bit slow. I'm not sure. It doesn't seem to be doing much, but it could be that it's, you know, transplant shock and getting over its journey. And I've noticed that some of them, they like to establish their roots kind of first before they begin sending out new leaves. So it could be that it's just getting comfortable and anchoring itself in before it starts doing that, climbing up the pole. Our Plough-Mani is doing okay. It got a little bit of leaf burn from when it was first moved here on that leaf, but it's not got any worse, and I think it's settled in and acclimated to this new spot quite well. I think it was in quite heavy shade in the garden center where we bought it, and it gets a little bit more sun here than maybe it was used to, but it seems to have adapted. And I can see a little shoot down there. It may be giving us another leaf in a month or so, maybe. So yeah, yesterday we moved the Choco Empress out here, so we had this indoors for a while, but wanted to make some space indoors for some new plants arriving today, and that will be the subject of our next video. So this Choco Empress has been inside for a month or so, and it had a shoot but never really seemed to send out another leaf. So I'm hoping that now it's outdoors here, it'll be a little happier. Another leaf coming out on our banana tobacco. I still don't know what these are called. It's some species of banana. They call them in the garden centers here tobacco. We've got another leaf coming out on this one. So these really were just put here to provide some shade for the plants that are below. I'm thinking of putting in a trellis above here and having some plants crawling and hanging on there to provide some additional shade and to really give this side kind of a jungle feel. But we'll see. It depends on if the restrictions, subdivision restrictions allow us. A good one, little butterfly there. Come to say hello. So yeah, I'm going to tidy up before I start work. We've still got lots more to do. This living wall is pretty much done. I'll probably find a few things to add here and there, but the next project is going to be this area here, make it look something like this. Probably just as far as the end of the lotus pond there. And then to the left of there, then we've got our pothos growing up the wall, lots of different types there. And of course, we've got this birds of paradise, which has another new really big leaf coming out. So this is really getting huge, and quite quickly as well. This was only up to here probably 4 months ago, 4 or 5 months ago. So it's been pretty quick grower. It's kind of like really nice big leaves. The problem with them is that once they get kind of caught by the wind a little bit, they get these tears in the leaves and they don't look quite as nice. But so we've got 3 of these along the back here. We've got another one here. It's not quite as big, but it also has a new leaf coming out. I think they're going to get bigger. And then we have another one over in that corner there. So again, the big leaves, they provide some shade for the plants below. They also help to cover this wall that we've got behind there. And mixed in with those, we've also got the heliconias. So these other leaves you see here are the heliconias, and then these are the birds of paradise. They have another species of banana as well, just as the heliconias. Another species of banana. So there we go. I'll do another video later updating on our new plants that are arriving today. 2 new ones. We've got a Philodendron black cardinal and a Philodendron Paraiso Verde. So we'll be finding a spot for those, probably inside. That's why we're making some space. And I'll see you in the next video.